Hey, what's going on, folks? You know, it's pretty early and the sun is beaming down. I just came from the barber shop early this morning. I was taking care of a few things and running errands and, you know, just living my life and trying to just, you know, take care of things, you know. But I was in the barber shop this morning. We were having a really interesting conversation, and I told you guys, you know, my barber is about 90 years old. He's a very wise old man. You know, he's been around many years. And, you know, he was talking about happiness. And it's funny because during my time in the barbershop, I was thinking about that very thing, happiness. Right? And what are we thankful for? I was thinking about this thing, but he brought it up. And he told me a story, you know, a tragedy that happened to him many, many years ago. He had a 22-month-old child who passed. And he said that he went to work and, you know, he was severely depressed and sad and, you know, and he felt ill. And, you know, he said a thought came to him. And that thought, he said, was, you know, he thought about all of the things that a child could do in their life. If they grew up, they could be police officers, they could be firefighters, or they could be Secret Service or something. They could protect the president. Right? And they will be putting their lives on the line to guard and protect people, protect the innocent, you know, and that would be honorable. He said we would go around and we would brag to our friends about our child being a police officer or just anything, you know, and how they are saving lives and all of these things. And he said we would have, you know, we would sing their accolades, right? And the thing is that he was saying, but, you know, he realized that his child had gone to a higher place and that they were in a better place and that they were being a guardian to him and protecting and watching over him, you know. And he said that from that moment forward, he didn't have any more sadness. And he was very thankful that his child had gone on to a higher realm, right, of peace. And I was really moved by how this old man reflected on his own life and his tragedies and failures. You know, it is truly all, what happens to you is truly how you perceive it. It is. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I've heard this before. And I always knew it was true. I never disputed anything about that. I'm a very happy person in my life, and, well, we're human, and just like you guys out there, you know, I am not perfect. I have bad days and good days, right? But I want to be happy. You know, I want to be a guardian. I want to protect people. This is why I do what I do. You know, I don't wish anyone out there ill will. I'm not here to harm people, right? If there's a misunderstanding that I'm having with someone, really, is it a personal misunderstanding, right? Or is it a disagreement between philosophies or ideologies? Because people can discuss things, right? And they can agree to disagree. And if you don't believe me, hey, we have millions and tons of religion, not millions, but I don't know what we have, but we have scores of religions out here in the world, and everyone has a belief system. You know, some people are willing to die for those beliefs. So they mean that to them, what you know, their perceptions of life and things of such, that means a lot to them. You know, so I honor that in other people. We're all children of the universe. None of us are more powerful than other when we're talking about the almighty source. And that's what the guy was talking about. He's a pastor, by the way, so he was really getting spiritual in there, but he's right. In the eyes of the universe, we are all children of the universe. None of us are more powerful than the other in actual reality. I don't send bad blessings or curses to anyone, because the universe has a law for those such things. When you think ill will of other people. So anyone out there who has sent me bad energy, I don't send it back to you. I send you good energy. because I understand that you're in a place. If you're misinterpreting my position on why I'm coming to the public and talking to these people and trying to help, because I really don't want these things to happen. I haven't talked a lot about the tragedies in my life and the things that I have experienced, and they're ongoing, right? We're all gonna. I'm not sitting here telling you guys that I'm not gonna have another bad day. I will. You know, things fall upon us every day, and how we prepare for those things. You're right. You know, because I spoke on that. How we're prepared, and I always speak about preparation. Is how we deal with those things effectively. You know. Now, there are many happy people in the world, and I'm a part of that lot. I want to be around the good joy. All I'm doing is being a warrior. I was looking at, one of my viewers had sent me a comment, and they were telling me that, that I am a warrior, and that they really wanted to see me keep up the good fight, and that they felt like I was speaking to them, right? Now, I've heard this in other comments, but this is one person, and this is one person that I'm trying to touch for the reasons I'm trying to touch them in this sea of humans and souls. I want to connect with people because I want people to want to rid the world of bad energy, right? Happiness and peace are part of a good lot of good energy. So I don't want to see negative, bad energy. I don't want to see people harmed. I am a warrior for such things, right? All of the people who want to uplift the public in any form that may be, whether it be, simply awakening them or, sending them love and support, I'm for that. That's what I want you to understand, that I am a proponent of that. Yes, I am a justice empath. That is what I am. How else should I be in this world? I know my purpose. The fight that I'm fighting is for a peace of mind. Now, I have that in my own head, but externally, we see things out here in the world that are real, and people are affected. I was looking at the paper today. Here you go. And I'm not going to say where it is, but, this is where I am. And there's tragedy on the front page headlines. And I'll read it to you guys because I want you to understand why I do this. This is the reality I'm talking about. I'm here right now in the present moment, and I want to talk about something that I'm seeing and how we can stop that. Now, the front page article says, front page, "My nerves are shot. It's getting worse. After a drive-by, public housing residents express fear and frustration." After a drive-by, public housing residents express fear and frustration. So I talk about fears, and I talk about the frustrations of those fears. Because those people who live in those homes, they're victims of gunplay outside of their homes in the community. People who are negatively grounded, who want to fight and harm each other, right? Those people are affecting these people, right? Because they have children, and if they're walking their child, I've told you many times about kids getting hurt in these crossfires. They don't want their child to die. Now, they can have a good position in life after the death of their child, and they can mentally deal with it and be strong. But there's still a real tragedy out here that we need to do something about. The president was even talking about sending people to Southside Chicago to clean up the mess. If it weren't a real thing, a real epidemically proportioned thing, where people were dying unnecessarily, not people involved in the melees and conflict, but just innocent people who are trying to live their lives, and they don't have money to get out of these areas, Now, I'll read more of the article, and then I'll talk a little bit more. But, it says, it's becoming a constant headline, which shows you that this is every day, especially in this area that I'm at and other areas around the world, right? Multiple people shot. people are being gunned down in groups of 2s and 3s and or more. And the victims is how they put it in the paper. The victims usually are young, right? This time it was 5 people. And in the same area, 7 people have already been killed in just that little area this year. Those people who live there, if they could have a helping hand, if they could have someone hold their hand and give them a hug, and I want to give them a hug. If I were there, I would give them one. That would help them get through the grief and pain and suffering that they're going through. That's why I'm here. You know, if I see these guys doing something that's harming someone and I take action and I stop that harm or that infringement, am I wrong? Are police officers wrong for having a justice stance and fighting a good fight and protecting the citizens? Are they wrong for that? Are they wrong for taking an oath to protect and serve? On this third dimensional planet, yes, they're spirits, yes, they're higher spirits, but on this third dimensional planet, they have a purpose to protect. I want to see you protected, man. All of you people, okay? I don't want to see any of you guys harmed. That's not even my message. I'm not even talking about advocating for violence or anything that's negative. I'm just speaking to you guys about the things that are going on. If I didn't speak, there would be other voices to speak. But my voice and my message are very key to my survival and where I am and the people around me. The people that like I just read about in the paper. Local residents express fear and frustration. Both of those things are mental. You know, I get into the psychology all the time about why it's dumb for people to act the way they act and behave. But the real issue is that when these people are dysfunctional, they are literally harming people. They are literally taking people's lives. I don't know about you, but I love my family members. I do love people. I don't want my family members to go to an early death. And if they did, I would find peace in myself to deal with that. But no, I don't want to see that tragedy. All of the things that have happened to me in my life, the only thing I'm doing is telling you people, I'm testifying to you people about these things. And I'm trying to get you to realize that, or beware. If you're the type of person who's doing reckless things, and I don't mean necessarily recklessness and harming someone, but you're not being precautious about how you're living your life. You know, you may flash money somewhere, you may do whatever. Your life could be over. All I'm saying is to beware of these things. That's not a bad thing, is it? I wish you blessings. I wish you blessings and peace. I don't have an issue with you. I have an issue with the negative energies in the world that have harmed me and that are continuously, like this paper says, continuously harming other people. So, you know, I did get some really good information today when I talked to the wise barber, who's very spiritual, who's seen a lot, who's seen death in his family, who's lost children. And I want to get insight from him about how I can deal with such tragedies. But remember this: we're all protected under the cloth of the higher infinite source. God of the universe protects us all in all realms of reality. There are laws in the universe. When you wish harm to someone, you get it. Now, when I talk about justice, is there a place for justice in the universe? When we look at these spiritual texts, don't we see that justice is always delivered? When the wise man speaks a parable or something about some lesson in life, he's trying to educate someone who doesn't know, right? Jesus took his message to the streets, and people treated him as a heretic for trying to tell people to find a light. Okay? And there are many spiritual prophets that are written and recorded in history that have, you know, descended and have tried to enlighten the people spiritually through their hearts. So this talk is not necessarily about psychology. It's about reflecting inside. Looking in that mirror inside. I can do that. If I know that I'm not willing to kill or harm a person and someone else is willing to do it, then they're negative and there's some grounding that they don't have. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I love bad behavior, people. I also love understanding things. And when they come crystal clear to me, like an epiphany, you know, I'm humble. Y'all have a good one.